For step 3, we're going to continue on with expanded keyword research. Expanded keyword research is where I can take that higher competition niche and break it down in a way that actually allows me to target it with much less competition. So this is something, again, that you could try to do with pretty much any high competition niche. And this is especially the case if the type of product that you want to sell can help to solve any kind of a problem, whether it is a personal problem, whether it is a life problem, whether it is a physical or health related problem, or simply a problem with somebody's hobby or even with their job. These are going to be the most common things that people actually purchase online as a general rule of thumb. So when you have one of these products that has problems associated with why people buy it, then you have unique ways that you can go about targeting the product. So what we're going to do is things like researching different product names and models that relate to this niche. We are also going to research some of these problems that the products can solve. And then we can perform keyword research with this information. And as always, we want to be recording all of the information that we are actually researching here, because this information can help us to decide on which niche we're actually going to pursue. So with that said, I want to jump back over here, and I'm going to start on Amazon with the first part of this, which is to research additional products, and specifically the names of products, the brands of products, and even things like model numbers of products. These things are common for people to search for. They might be looking for a review on it. They might simply just be looking for the best price on the product. So they go over to Google and they perform a search for a specific thing that they are looking for. So I'm going to record information relating to the niche that I feel like I'm most likely going to be going after here, the solid state drive niche. So I want to look at what some of the products are on Amazon that meet my criteria in terms of being a high quality product that people actually seem to enjoy because they have reviewed it really well. And especially in high numbers, you can be much, much more confident that when, like here, 86% of people that have bought this product, and we're talking about 86% of 4,000 people have rated this a 5-star product. So you get a lot much more confidence with stuff like that. And then obviously things like my product price are going to be important to me as well. So I'm just going to open up a couple of these pages here. Now on this particular page, this is the Samsung 850 EVO. And if I look back at my previous screen, the second product that was actually listed here is the exact same product. The only difference in it is the model number and the capacity of the product. However, it actually brings me to the same page on Amazon, and then people can choose the different varieties. So as you can see here, for a really high capacity one of these things, somebody can spend over $700 on it. So these things can be rather expensive, but your average user will stick within this range right here. Even so, $100 on average will still give me a nice commission per sale. Knowing that this product sells really well and that it meets all of my other criteria, I'm going to record my info for this, and that would be, I want the name of the product in terms of the brand and the model to go along with it. And if you have a specific model number like this here, make sure you copy that as well. So what this means is that the actual product name could be a potential keyword that I could go for. The model number could also be a keyword phrase that I could go for. So I could then continue on doing the same type of thing, selecting a couple of different brands of these products, and maybe even a couple different types of the same brand, but different products within that brand. So something like here, I have the SanDisk SSD Plus. Also have the model for it right up here. So I would continue on doing this same type of thing for, you don't have to do it for a lot of different products, but try to find what you believe to be some of the more popular products in that niche, and maybe even some of the newly released products in that niche. When you know you're dealing with a really high competition niche, such as the one that I'm diving into here, I can be pretty confident that unless the product is a new release, there's probably going to be a lot of competition on all of these possible search combinations. However, I still want to record them and look into it, because if I can find one that has much less competition on it than normal, then I might be able to attract search engine traffic using those different types of phrases. Now, one other thing I like to do while I am here is I go ahead and copy the Amazon ASIN for the product. You can find this up in the title. Just look for B00, and it's just a string of letters and numbers in between these forward slashes here. When you copy this, you can easily find your way back to the exact product that you are looking at, and this can even help you out in the future when it comes to creating advertisements for these products too. So now, once I have some basic information like this, some product names and models, I can then go back over to the Google Keyword Planner and I can search for this. So I can do Samsung 850 EVO and look up how much traffic is available for this. And so the same thing that I was doing before with my general topics, I can do that again here with my actual products. And then I can do it again with my model numbers even. Now this one is not showing up. However, I'd be willing to bet that there is still traffic for it. I'm just probably not getting it punched in the exact right way. This one right here is actually, I believe, in a similar line of, there were all the different sizes. Each of the different sizes has a different model number to go along with it. I believe this one here would be the 250 gigabyte, and I think this one here is the 2 terabyte one. So something like this, the 250, which is going to be more common for people to purchase, might be a more feasible option for me to try to target instead of the more expensive version of it. So I'm going to change my keyword selection here to this one, and then I will record my traffic levels. I'm just going to do this for this one particular product here to begin with. I will go back over to Google now. And I will search for this product and record my results. So I can already tell here that this actual product name has more competition for it than my general niche idea. I have about twice as many all-in-title results, and I have about 4 times as many quote results. This definitely tells me that my niche certainly has a lot of competition on it. And while I might be able to get a search ranking on this keyword phrase, or maybe on a more specific variation of it, for example, the different size capacities, I could easily add something like 250 gigabytes to the end of that keyword phrase, and I'd be willing to bet there's still search traffic for this phrase too, and it might be a little less competition than this one has. Actually, that has a little more. That might be one of the rare exceptions to that. But as you can see though, any one keyword phrase can easily be molded into different keyword phrases. So what you're really looking for is the one that offers you the most potential for traffic with the least amount of competition resistance for you to be able to get up there and get some of that traffic. I'm going to do the same thing once again here with my model number. All in title, I have 3,940. And for quotes, I have 160,000. So now there are actually more pages that use this specific model number in the title than use the actual basic name of the product in the title. However, there are less pages that go after this particular model. Ultimately, though, when you're going to be targeting these different Amazon products, you kind of end up with separate pages of your site, and each individual page either promotes a specific product like this one here, the Samsung 850 EVO, or it might promote a brand of products but for a specific type. For example, I could, instead of having a different page on my site for each of the different Samsung solid state drives, I could just have one page about Samsung solid state drives, and I could promote a couple of those products within that one page. I've done both of these approaches though, and really either one works out fine. It's really all about where the least resistance is going to occur at for you to be able to reach that traffic. Now, in addition to this basic research for more product names and models, something you have likely also done before, you can continue on from there and dive into keywords having to do with the problems that products can actually solve. So now, if I didn't know anything about a solid state drive, I might go and search for it and simply read through a few different pages. I might check out the Wikipedia page. I might try to find a couple of forums or technology related sites that offer up some information having to do with this topic to learn about what those actual problems would be. But once I have that knowledge of what my problems for this product are, then I can take that information to the Google Keyword Planner to help me to come up with more ideas for things that I can target, for ways that I can actually tap into the high traffic levels of these niches that generally have really high competition, but without all of that competition. So for example, one of the things that I wasn't necessarily buying the product for, but one of the side effects that I have seen from it as a result is that Windows starts up really, really fast. Generally, I had to sit there and wait for like a minute, sometimes maybe even 2 minutes or something if there was a recent Windows update that was done to it. It would just take forever for things to kind of happen, and even loading Windows up was one of them. Well, after the solid state drive, I definitely recognized a major difference. I could tell that Windows itself would actually load up to the screen where I have to punch in my password. It would only take about 15 to 20 seconds at the very most. And even if there was an update, it would usually only stretch to about 30 seconds or so. And so the same type of thing kind of applies across the board to everything on the computer. Anything that needs to access a file or write to a file on a computer to be able to work will benefit from adding a solid state drive and running that off of that hard drive instead of a standard hard drive. So knowing this firsthand information, and if I didn't know this information firsthand for this particular product line, I could easily have found out that kind of stuff by just searching around on Google, learning a little bit about the product, reading through a few forum posts about the product. So I can then come over to Google and look for something like Windows slow loading time. Now, while I don't have any keyword traffic on the exact way that I decided to phrase that, I can easily see that there is a lot of traffic out there for all different kinds of combinations of this. Windows 7, slow startup, computer running slow Windows 7, slow startup Windows 7, slow computer Windows 7, Windows 7 slow boot. So you have all kinds of different examples of this type of a situation and a decent amount of traffic to back it up. I'm going to try out this one here, Windows 7 slow boot. I'll go ahead and record this information. And then I'm going to go over to Google just to get an idea of what kind of competition I might be dealing with. So now when I put this in all quotes, I get 3,350. And when I do the all in title search, here we go, I get 223. So hopefully this makes a lot of sense right now and kind of makes things really click for you. This topic has a nice amount of traffic to it, and incredibly low competition compared to everything else that I have looked at so far this evening. Even though my traffic levels might be a little under what the other ones are, compared to the amount of work that I would have to do to reliably get a search ranking on something like Samsung 850 EVO, would be a ton more work than it would take to actually get a ranking on this keyword phrase here. However, both keywords can lead me to still sell the exact same product. In fact, I can still target both of them on the same website. And this is what I actually end up doing. I'll have a number of pages on my site that target a specific product. I described this to you before, where I might have one product per page, or maybe I would do a whole brand worth of the same type of product on an individual page. So I can have that page on my site that goes after these keyword phrases. And then I have informational articles on my site that go after these keyword phrases. Ultimately, though, I have these pages link back up to my original product pages, the pages where I ultimately want to see my traffic end up. Obviously, I need them on my product page to get a sale on Amazon for it. But when it becomes much harder to bring in traffic for a product phrase, it's a lot easier to bring it in on an informational phrase to help to solve that problem for people by use of a product that you recommend. So you're not only still getting the sale here, but you get to tap into traffic that is largely ignored because it doesn't have a direct relation to a specific product. That is why you have all the marketers going after phrases like Samsung 850 EVO and almost no marketers going after Windows 7 Slow Boot. But I guarantee you there is tons of traffic out there for these types of keywords, and there is a direct relation between those problems that they're searching for and products that you are trying to sell with your niche. So explore your niche as much as you possibly can. The products that you could promote, figure out the problems that they're going to solve, and see if you can find traffic out there relating to these ideas. For me, in addition to something like Windows 7 Slow Boot, I could target all of the other Windows operating systems. I bet almost every single one of them also has their own search traffic relating to that version of Windows. So we would have Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10. That's just 5 different versions of Windows that are currently in modern use. And so people would likely be searching for them. And the same product solves that same problem no matter what kind of computer they're using. So I wouldn't even necessarily be limited to Windows at that. You have other operating systems. I have even more topics besides that I could try to go after. General informative type of content, stuff like what's really the difference between a solid state drive and a hard disk drive. So I could do something like SSD versus HDD, just as a very general example. Tons of traffic searching for things like that. And if I could get a little more specific with what my topic would really be about here, then I might be able to find a low competition angle to approach this at as well. Things like making your computer faster for gaming, for work purposes. I can even get into specific titles in addition to these general uses, where instead of targeting gaming as a general, I could target maybe Grand Theft Auto as a specific game. Instead of doing something like solid state drives for video editing, I might even be able to find traffic relating to Adobe Premiere Pro, a very specific video editing title. So explore all of these different possibilities that relate to your niche and really try to figure out where the high traffic, low competition angles exist that you can actually utilize and try to exploit. So once I have reached this point, I have looked at, sorry, I skipped over it. I have looked at additional product names and models, and I have researched traffic levels and competition on them. I have done the same thing for problems relating to my product. And again, I have recorded all of this information to go along with it so I can glance back and easily decide what are going to be the good choices here and what's not going to be such a great approach. And again, you do all this based on the way you actually come up with these competition levels. You're looking for high traffic and as low of numbers as you can possibly find on the all-in title and the direct quote searches.